Courage the Cowardly Dog. 13 episodes for all 4 seasons. One thing I didn't like the best about this show was Courage, did like those warning things where he just gets like really animated, like, typical kid shows. But it's only in the first episode where they actually listen to him multiple times. Other times they kind of just brush it off. They listened to him, they were scared, and they went outside to go check because they thought there was a burglar in the house. But then after that, they're kind of like, oh, it's just this, it's just that, it's just that. Don't worry, Courage, it's just this. Courage Meets Bigfoot was a cool episode to show how friendly Courage can be when he's not just abandoning Eustace and saving Muriel, because he does that a lot. But sometimes he decides to save Eustace for some reason. Because there's one episode where, like, Eustace gets killed and all they do is bring his hat home and put water in a bowl because he gets turned into water. The Weremole was kind of a cool episode. But honestly, I completely forgot about the doctor being taken. And that doctor is ridiculous in this show, always saying shit like, oh, it's nothing, and somebody's hand will be the size of a ceiling fan. The demon in the mattress was kind of cool, I guess. The curse one was a bit weird. Like, it's a pretty iconic episode because it's one of the episodes I think about when I think of Courage the Cowardly Dog. But the curse one, 2 people steal this thing, they bury it in the yard, and there's supposed to be like 3 different curses. And when he does the burglars, he warns them about the curse. They're kind of just like, huh? And then he does like the very last curse immediately. So I thought that was weird. The Hunchback of Nowhere was a really cool episode and one of my favorites. The Gods Must Be Goosey was a really weird episode. The Lovely Duckling episode was kind of unique. Clubs, Cats. Oh, the one episode. It's in the next season, but I watched a few episodes of season 2. In season 2, there's an episode where Muriel gets some seeds and they grow this tree that grants wishes. And Eustace says that they've never grown something before in like 50 years. Even though, the eggplant episode, which I'm pretty sure was season 1, episode 13, they grew a bunch of eggplants. And also I'm pretty sure Eustace makes a wish too, but I guess the tree doesn't grant him wishes. We don't really get an explanation. Because he goes, I wish we had like a bigger tree or something that ought to show Muriel. Little Muriel was probably my favorite episode though. It was really funny. Just Eustace was getting knocked out every time he woke up. And each time it was worse and worse. One time it was by accident. One time he just tries to sit up and just knocks his head on the ceiling because the ceiling collapsed from a tornado. And then the third time he just gets a whole ass couch dropped on him. And right after Courage falls on his stomach. And then there was that scene with Muriel where she said, I found something. And then she pulled out the mask that Eustace usually does to scare Courage. There's also the scene where she makes Courage remake mac and cheese like 10 different times. And then she says, oh, perfect. And then she slaps it into his face and talks about how she hates mac and cheese. Even though she asked for it. That was a pretty funny scene. It didn't drag on too long, but it did drag on a little bit long. But it was a pretty cool episode. And on top of that, that episode has the pilot think that little Muriel is so annoying that he just gives Courage his hat and tells Courage good luck to fly the plane. And just jumps out of the plane with a parachute. Oh, he could have just, said, we're not going to deal with Muriel and gave Courage a parachute. But then the episode wouldn't have worked, and they didn't have enough time to end it. But season 1 was a cool season, I guess.